Hola y buenos días. Yo soy el Señor Maurice. ¿Cómo están ustedes? Today we'll be reviewing the numbers that we've studied up to now and then adding some more numbers to those that we already know. Get it? Adding to our numbers? Never mind. Then we'll review the things that we've studied in our dialogues in Units 1 and 2, and then we're going to make something to eat. Pero primero vamos a cantar nuestra canción de saludos. Canten conmigo. Hola, buenos días. ¿Cómo están ustedes? ¿Cómo se sienten? Yo me siento bien. Muy bien, muy bien. Ahora vamos a repasar los números. Let's start off by having a quick review by watching the video on the numbers, and then we'll have a dictation activity. Ahora, presten atención y repitan todos. Los números. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 100. Okay, everybody get out a piece of paper and something to write with. You might even write this into your Spanish notebooks if you want. I'm going to say a number in Spanish, and I want you to write it down. For example, if I say the number siete, you write down siete. That one right there. Got it? Listos. Let's go ahead and begin. Uno. Uno. Did you write down uno? That one? Okay, good. Well, I wanted to start off with an easy one to get you all used to it, okay? Try this. Okay, ready? Now listen carefully. 25. 25. Think about it. Write it down. Did you write down 25? 25? Did you get that? Good. Good. Well, let's try another one then. How about the number, okay, listen carefully. 83. 83. Think about it. Write it down. Did you get this one? 83. 83. Did you get that? You see, they're getting a little bit tougher, aren't they? Let's try one more. Let me see. Can you write down the number? 94. The number is 94. Think about it. 94. Did you write down this number? 94. Did you hear that? 90, because that sounds kind of like 9. 94. You should have all recognized that. Okay, well, I wanted you to practice that. You can continue practicing that. Now, we've talked about the numbers up to 100 so far, but as you know, there are many more numbers. Just like in English, when you count above 100, just about all you do is say the number of the hundreds, and then the tens and the ones. It's the same way in Spanish. So these are the hundreds in Spanish. We start off with 100, okay, and then we have two of them, so we say 200. And if we have three, we say 300. 4 is 400. Now this one's a little bit different. 5, instead of being 500, becomes 500. So that one's a little bit unusual. 6, how do you say 6? 6. Well, here we have 600. 7 is 7, but this changes just a little bit. Instead of being 700, it's 700. 8 is 800. 9 is, instead of being 900, it's 900. And then after that, we come up to 1000. 1000. All right. Well, just like in English, when we read numbers, there are groups of numbers in Spanish that are read together. Okay? These groups are separated by a comma, and you read the numbers, and then you name the group that they come from. Let's look at a number, and I think you'll understand. Okay? Here's a number. Now, in English, you see, we would call this 287, and because it's over in this group, we call it 1,000. 287,467. Well, it's the same thing in Spanish. 287,000, because that's the thousands, 467. So it's the same in Spanish and English. The name for the next group of three numbers is a cognate. It's called millones. Millones. Millions, right? Well, I tell you what, let's try a really big number now. Oh my goodness, look at this. But if you break it down into your groups, you can do it real easily. So we have 354 millones, 576,760. So it's the same thing we do in English, only do it in Spanish. Now, you can practice this really easily with your classmates by writing down large numbers and then reading them. As a bonus, I'm going to show you something that is different from English. The next group of numbers in English is called billions, right? Well, in Spanish they call it 1000 millones. 1000 millones, or 1,000 millions. Can you figure out why? Well, I tell you what. While you're pondering that, let's go ahead and go over the dialogue that we've talked about so far this year, okay? Two people come up to each other. The first one wants to know somebody's name. They're going to say, Hola, ¿cómo te llamas? Repitan. Okay, what is she going to say? If her name is Ana, how is she going to answer that? Me llamo Ana. Okay, very good. Now, if he wants to know how she's feeling, what's he going to say? ¿Cómo estás? And if she's doing pretty well, she'll say, Estoy bien. Now, if somebody comes up and she wants to know who that friend is, she might ask, ¿Cómo se llama tu amigo? ¿Cómo se llama tu amigo? And if he's going to present his friend, he says, Te presento a David. Te presento a David. Now, when she meets somebody, what does she say? It's a pleasure to meet you. She says, Mucho gusto. And if he wants to say, oh no, the pleasure's mine, he'll say, el gusto es mío. Oh, the pleasure is mine. Now, if she wants to know how old he is, how is she going to ask him? ¿Cuántos años tienes? And how do you answer that question? ¿Cuántos años tienes? You'll say, tengo. Well, he has 11 años. He's 11 years old. What if she wants to know his telephone number? How's she going to ask that? ¿Cuál es tu número de teléfono? ¿Cuál es tu número de teléfono? And he'll say, mi número de teléfono es el 555-1234. Now what if she wants to know if he speaks Spanish? What's she going to ask him? ¿Hablas español? If somebody asks you, ¿hablas español? And you want to tell them, yes, just a little bit, what will you say? Sí, un poco. Sí, un poco. Well, what if she wants to know where he lives? She wants to know what country he lives in. She's going to say, ¿En qué país vives? If somebody asks you that, and you live here in the United States, you'll say, Vivo en los Estados Unidos de América. But what if she wants to know about the state he lives in? She'll say, ¿En qué estado vives? And he'll answer, Vivo en el estado de Arizona, because that's where he lives. But if she wants to know even more, like what city, she'll ask, ¿En qué ciudad vives? ¿En qué ciudad vives? And he'll say, Vivo en la ciudad de Flagstaff. Okay, you guys keep practicing that. But you know, in almost any town you live in, you'll probably be able to find a Mexican food restaurant. And one of the most popular foods to eat is called a burrito. Now, burrito comes from the word burro in Spanish, which means a donkey, and ito means a little. So burrito is a little donkey, and that's because it can carry a lot, like this food that we're going to make today. Now, I've kind of prepared some things. I've got some beans cooking here because I'm going to make a bean burrito. And what you do is you start off by heating up your tortilla on your stove. Now, remember, you probably want to do this with somebody else helping you so that they can share your food with you. You're going to heat up your burrito like this. Now, I've already heated a burrito. I've got it here in my tortilla holder. What you're going to do is you're going to take your burrito, your tortilla, and lay it out on the plate. And nice and flat. And you can put in whatever filling you want. We're going to make these out of beans today. We're going to make some bean burritos, but you can use chicken or beef or fish or whatever you like. Put in your fillings. I have beans here. I'm going to put a little bit of tomatoes in. Okay. And some cheese. I love that cheese in there. And some lettuce. Now, if you're an adventurous soul, like me, you might even want to add something like some sour cream. Ooh, yeah, this is starting to look good. Or even some hot sauce. Oh, yeah. Now, that's looking good. Now, once you get it done, you can see that I've left a little bit of space here at this end. That's so that I can fold it up like that. Then I'm going to roll it over. And the reason I do that is so that the fillings don't fall out of this side. Now, once you've got it all rolled up, it's really easy. All you have to do is bite into it. That's something that you can do in your class. Maybe somebody can bring the fillings and somebody can bring tomato, lettuce. Somebody else can bring the tortillas. You can all get together and make burritos in your class for a meal someday. And practice speaking your Spanish. Now, we've already looked at a couple of ways that we use numbers, such as telling our age and our telephone number. And last week we began using numbers in maps. We talked about the time zones and how many states there are in the United States. Well, we're going to continue along those same lines by looking at another map now. Who remembers how to say map in Spanish? It's a cognate. El mapa. El mapa. Okay? Very good. Muy bien. Ahora vamos a ver la hoja de actividades llamada Carreteras del sureste, carreteras or highways del sureste of the, what direction? Sureste, southeast. Let's look at that now. Here we have a map of some of the southern states here in the United States, and you can see that I've included some of the highways on there. Okay, go ahead and take out your activity sheet, and as always, let's go ahead and start by writing our names up here at the top. Try to say the letters in Spanish. R, O, B, E, R, T, O. Well, I certainly hope you guys write better than I do. Here's our map, and as you can see, it's got the highway numbers and also some distances, and those distances are from dot to dot. Okay? So let's look at our questions down here and see if we can figure out what we're looking at. ¿Cuántas millas son de Atlanta, Georgia, a Birmingham, Alabama? ¿Cuántas millas? Okay, let's see, that's how many miles is it from Atlanta, Georgia, to Birmingham, Alabama? Let's see. Here's Atlanta, Georgia, right here. And Birmingham, Alabama is right here. So from this dot to this dot, can you guys see how far that is? Aha! How do we say that number in Spanish? How do we say that number in Spanish? 150. So down here for your answer, all you have to do is write out the number. 150. Now, some of the questions down here at the bottom get a little bit tougher. ¿Cuántas millas son de Knoxville, Tennessee, a Miami, Florida? Miami, Florida. Now this one's a little bit tougher because here's Knoxville and here is Miami. Now the thing about this one is you might choose to come this way or you might choose to come this way. Whichever way you choose to come, you get all of those numbers and add them up and write your answer down there. Now be prepared to justify your answer. If your teacher says, how did you get that answer? You can tell your teacher that you came through Chattanooga or through Asheville and add up the numbers to get your own response. So this is kind of a cool activity sheet because you might have a different answer from somebody else. But if you can justify it, that's okay. Next class, we'll review all of the things that we've been discussing during this unit in preparation for our unit evaluation. We're going to be playing Lotería next lesson, so be sure to have all of your boards and game pieces ready. Pero ahora tenemos que despedirnos. Hoy vamos a cantar la canción Cielito Lindo. Okay? And I want you to sing the whole song, but at least join me for the ay, 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 ay part. ¿Listos? Canten conmigo. De la Sierra Morena, cielito lindo, vienen bajando. Un par de ojitos negros, cielito lindo de contrabando. Everybody now. Ay, 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 ay. Canta y no llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. Well, I've got to go and eat my burrito now. I hope you guys get a chance to make some burritos in your class. Until we see each other again, adiós y hasta luego. De la Sierra